In the forests of the eastern United States, something is happening underground. Right now, beneath roots and sidewalks and quiet suburban lawns, there are insects waiting in the dark. They have been there for years, not weeks, not months, years. They are cicadas. For most of their lives, they do not fly. They do not sing. They do not see the sky. They live underground, feeding slowly on fluid from tree roots, growing in silence. And then, after 17 years, they emerge, not one or two, trillions. Across entire regions, they climb out of the ground within the same few weeks. They cover the trees, they fill the air with noise, they mate, they lay eggs, and they die. Their parents are gone. Their parents have been gone since before they were born. No one taught them the date. They have no calendar, no clock, no memory of the last emergence. And yet somehow, they know, something inside the cicada is counting. This is where the question gets strange. Because when most people ask whether animals understand time, they imagine something almost human. A dog waiting by the door, an elephant remembering an old path, a bird flying south before winter. But time might not be one thing. It might have levels. At the lowest level, life simply obeys time. At a higher level, animals remember time. Higher still, they prepare for time. And at the highest level, something becomes aware that it is running out of time. That last level may be where humans live alone. The lower levels are everywhere. For most of the 20th century, scientists believed animals lived almost entirely in the present. They could react, they could form habits, they could associate one thing with another. Bell rings, food appears, door opens, owner returns, winter comes, move south, that animals did not really understand past and future. Not in a meaningful way, because to think about time, it seemed, you needed language. You needed words like yesterday and tomorrow and later. Without words, how could an animal know that time had passed? Then scientists started testing the question more carefully, and one of the animals that changed everything was a bird, not an eagle, not a parrot, a scrub jay. Scrub jays hide food. They bury it in small caches and come back later. That part was already known. But in the 1990s, a researcher at the University of Cambridge named Nicola Clayton began asking a more precise question. What do they actually remember? Do they only remember where the food is? Or do they also remember when they hid it? So she gave the birds two kinds of food. Peanuts, which last for a long time, and waxworms, which the birds prefer, but which rot quickly. The jays were allowed to hide both, then they were tested later. After a few hours, the birds went for the waxworms first. That made sense. The worms were still fresh, and the birds liked them more. But after several days, something changed. The birds stopped looking for the waxworms. They went for the peanuts instead. The waxworms would have spoiled, and somehow the birds knew. Not because they could smell them, not because they had been shown the decay, but because they remembered that those worms had been buried longer. That is not just memory, that is memory with a timestamp. The bird was not thinking, I hid food there. It was thinking something closer to, I hid that food there too long ago. That is a different kind of mind. Because the moment an animal can remember when something happened, it is no longer trapped in the present. It has a past, not a human past. Not a childhood story it tells itself, but a past that matters, a past it can use. The scrub jay does not need the word yesterday. It only needs to know that one hidden meal is older than another. It does not need a calendar. It only needs decay. But remembering the past is only one side of time. The harder question is the future. Can an animal prepare for a need it does not feel yet? Humans do this constantly. We bring a jacket because we might be cold later. We save money because we might need it someday. We set alarms for a version of ourselves that does not exist yet. Morning you makes promises for night you. Night you ruins the plans of morning you. Almost all of human life is a negotiation with future versions of ourselves. Can animals do anything like that? Clayton ran a second experiment. She placed scrub jays in two compartments overnight. One compartment always had breakfast in the morning. The other did not. Later, during the day, the birds were given food they could hide. And something remarkable happened. The jays began hiding food in the compartment where they knew they would wake up hungry. Think about that for a moment. They were not hungry when they hid it. They were not solving an immediate problem. They were preparing for a future version of themselves. A bird, in the present, was acting for a tomorrow it had not reached yet. That is a quiet sentence, but it is enormous. Because for a long time, humans like to believe this was our private territory. The future belonged to us. Animals reacted. Humans planned, animals lived, humans imagined. But the boundary is not that clean. Apes save tools for tasks they have not started yet. Squirrels hide food in patterns that anticipate winter. Elephants travel toward water sources they have not seen in years. Migratory birds cross continents reading seasonal cues in the sky. Again and again, animals behave as if tomorrow is real, not as an idea, not as a philosophy, as a pressure, something coming, something worth preparing for. And yet there is still a difference. A cicada can count 17 years without knowing it is counting. A scrub jay can remember that a worm has spoiled without wondering where its childhood went. An elephant can remember an old water route without sitting under the stars and thinking I am older now. That may be the line. Not whether animals track time, they do. Not whether they remember, they do. The deeper question is whether they know that they themselves are moving through time. Whether they know their life has a shape. Whether they know there was a before them and there will be an after. This is much harder to test, because now we are not talking about clocks, or memory, or planning. We are talking about the feeling of being a self stretched across time. Humans have this feeling so strongly that it almost hurts. We do not just remember the past, we miss it. We do not just imagine the future, we fear it. We can sit alone in a room and feel the entire direction of our life. A smell can bring back a year. A song can make us feel 17 again. A photograph can prove that a version of us existed and is gone. And one day, very early in life, every human realizes something no animal has ever clearly told us it realizes, that we will not be here forever. That thought changes everything. It turns time from a measurement into a wound. Maybe some animals feel something like this, maybe not. Elephants return to the bones of dead relatives and touch them gently. Chimpanzee mothers have been seen carrying their dead infants for days. Whales appear to mourn. Crows gather around their dead. These behaviors suggest grief. They suggest memory. They suggest that absence means something. But do they suggest an awareness of mortality? Do they mean the animal understands death as a permanent future that also applies to itself? We do not know. That uncertainty matters because it is tempting to do one of two things. Either we make animals too simple, machines, instincts, little bodies driven by programming, or we make them too human, thinking exactly like us just without the words. Both are probably wrong. The truth is stranger. Animals may live in time without thinking about time. They may carry the past without telling stories about it. They may prepare for the future without imagining their own old age. They may be closer to us than we thought, but still unreachable in the exact way they experience the world. A cicada does not need to understand 17 years. Its body understands. A scrub jay does not need to understand decay. Its memory understands. An elephant does not need to understand history. Its path through the landscape understands. And maybe a human is what happens when all of those clocks become conscious at once. The body clock, the memory clock, the future clock, the death clock, all ticking together. That may be why time feels so heavy to us. We are not just inside it, we know we are inside it. But life was counting long before we noticed. Every cell in your body runs on a rhythm. So do the cells of birds and insects and plants and fungi. There are clocks inside living things older than thought itself. Before calendars, bodies counted. Before language, cells counted. Before humans wondered where the time had gone, the world was already keeping track. Somewhere in the Pacific, a whale may be carrying 90 years of ocean inside it. Somewhere in Botswana, an elephant may be walking a drought route she learned as a calf. Somewhere under a tree in Maryland, a cicada has been waiting in darkness since 2009. Not sleeping, not dead, waiting. And when the soil warms, it will climb upward. It will break through the surface. It will see the sky for the first time. It will sing for a few weeks. It will mate. It will die. Its children will fall from the trees, burrow into the earth, and disappear. No teacher, no map, no calendar, just the dark. And the counting will start again.